Hi, I'm Jen, and I want to very briefly run you through why teaching kids to read is so incredibly rewarding and one of the hardest lessons that I've learned while I've been doing it. So, first up is probably the most obvious one. When you are teaching your children to read, they make huge progress very, very quickly. And watching them go from not having recognized a single letter, not able to blend a single word, to suddenly reading chapter books and investigating, their own imaginations and what they want to read and what they want to discover is so incredibly rewarding. And I have to say, year one is the best year. Yes, I am slightly biased because I get to witness that incredible light bulb moment where they go from being like, reading is hard and it takes time, to being like, oh my gosh, yes, I can read. And actually, this is a lot easier than I thought and almost automatic. And that is just incredible to witness. I love it. Oh, I always love it. Another thing that I absolutely adore about it is seeing our kids gain confidence, both in their ability and in themselves. As kids learn to read, they realize that something that they once found hard, because learning to read is very hard, is actually something they can do now without even thinking about it. And they can track their own progress. They can look back at books that they used to struggle with. They can remember struggling with them. And then now they're looking at books and being like, but that was so easy. Why did I ever find that hard? This is wonderful because it builds their confidence and their pride in themselves, which then enables them to recognize this and reuse this structure in later life. If they're finding maths hard, if they're finding friendships hard, they can remember a time that they found something hard and it's now easy. So it helps them with that amazing sort of growth mindset. Thank you, Carol Dweck. To support them to become more independent learners, which is actually my next point as well. As our kids become more confident in their reading, they can suddenly access much more. They can start choosing books that interest them. They can start learning about what they want to learn about and become more independent in general. The whole world opens up to them too. So they can read street signs, they can read warnings on the train platform, they can read literally anything they want to. And if that's stuff in their everyday life, fantastic. If that's books on science or history or geography or whatever they want to learn about, they can do that as well. And it is genuinely such a privilege to get to watch them experience that freedom and take that step in their own independence and their own journey to becoming, independent people and confident readers as well. It is incredible. I have found that some things I've learned have been a lot harder. And I do want to talk about the biggest difficulty that I have found when it comes to reading, or actually the hardest lesson I've had to learn. And ultimately, the hardest lesson I've had to learn is that I just cannot do as much as I want to do. Teaching reading is absolutely my passion. Hopefully, you already know that about me, or at least you've learned that today. But I can only help so many kids at a time. I have 30 children in my class, and realistically, I just don't have the time to support all of them in the way that I would like to. I might teach half an hour of phonics a day, broken into 10-minute sessions 3 times a day, but I only get about 5 minutes of one to one time with each child to do their reading every single week. Each year, there are always a couple of kids who I do not get enough time with, who I desperately wish that I could help more. And that is really tough. I really genuinely feel like I failed them, even though I know I actually just don't have the time. I couldn't have done any more than I have already done. And it's why I started working with parents. I wanted to give the most important person in a child's life the tools and confidence to help them at home, where it is going to have the biggest impact. Even if a parent only does 5 minutes worth of reading or reading activities each day, that is still 30 more minutes of one to one support than I can give them each week. And my gosh, does it make a big difference, not just in their own self confidence, in their own reading, and in their ability as well. But you really see it in all areas of the classroom. Even if you're just doing 5 minutes of reading practice every single day, your children are able to read the maths questions, they're able to explore their own history books, and it just makes such a difference both to their academic ability and to their own self-confidence, which is so wonderful to see. It's why I care so much about supporting parents with their children's reading, because you can absolutely do what I can't. Um, so that was a very brief bit about me. I would love to know what you love most about helping your child with their reading, or what you're most interested in about it, or any questions that you have about doing so as well. I read and respond to every comment, I respond to every single email that I get, and I would really genuinely love to help. So if you have any questions, pop them over to me. I will answer to the best of my ability so that you feel confident with helping your child as well, because that's what I do and that is what I'm here for.